Could you actually survive as a Roman soldier? Not the Hollywood version with gleaming armor and heroic speeches, but the real, brutal, exhausting reality of life in Rome's legions. Today, we're exploring what it truly meant to be one of history's most feared warriors. And trust me, it's way harder than you think. Let's find out if you'd make it or break under the pressure. First, let's talk about recruitment and training, because this is where most people would already fail. You can't just show up and join the Roman army. There are strict requirements. You need to be a Roman citizen, which immediately excludes most people in the empire. You must be between 17 and 46 years old, at least 5 feet 8 inches tall, which was considerably tall for that era, and physically fit with good vision. No criminal record either. If you meet these requirements, congratulations. Now the real suffering begins. Training lasts 4 brutal months that will break you physically and mentally. Every single day starts before dawn with a 10-mile march carrying 60 pounds of equipment. That's your armor, weapons, tools for building camp, cooking supplies, and personal belongings. 60 pounds doesn't sound extreme until you're marching in formation for hours under the Mediterranean sun wearing wool and metal. Your shoulders will bleed from the straps. Your feet will blister so badly you can barely walk. But you keep marching because falling behind means punishment. After marching comes weapons training for hours. You're learning sword techniques, spear throwing, shield formations, all while exhausted. Then construction work, building practice fortifications. Then swimming lessons in full gear because rivers don't stop Roman armies. Then more drills. Then maybe you eat, maybe sleep 4 to 6 hours if you're lucky. This continues daily for 4 months. Most recruits don't make it. They desert, collapse from exhaustion, or get discharged for being unable to meet standards. If you survive training, you're officially a legionary. Now the real challenge begins. Let's discuss daily life in the legions, because it's nothing like the glory you imagine. You've signed up for 25 years of service. 25 years. You can't quit. Desertion means execution. Your pay is decent, but most gets deducted for food, equipment, burial fund, and various fees. You're left with barely enough to save anything. You live in a barracks with 7 other men in a space roughly 10 feet by 10 feet. Privacy doesn't exist. Personal space doesn't exist. You share everything with men who might become your brothers or your worst enemies depending on luck. Every day follows a brutal routine. Wake at dawn, inspection, where officers check your equipment condition. One rusty piece means punishment. Dulled sword, punishment. Dirty armor, punishment. Then morning drills practicing formations, battle maneuvers, weapons techniques. This isn't optional light exercise. You're training to kill and avoid being killed. Then you march. Romans marched constantly, covering 15 to 20 miles daily, even when not at war. Why? Because Roman military doctrine emphasized mobility and discipline. A legion that couldn't march fast couldn't respond to threats quickly. Then comes the worst part that nobody talks about: construction work. Roman soldiers weren't just fighters, they were engineers, builders, and laborers. Every single night when you stop marching, you build a fortified camp from scratch, digging ditches, raising earthen walls, placing sharpened stakes, constructing gates. This takes hours of back-breaking work after already marching all day. Why so much effort for one night? Because Romans trusted preparation over luck. Every camp was a mini fortress that enemies couldn't easily attack. Additionally, you're building roads, bridges, aqueducts, and permanent forts. The famous Roman roads across Europe, built by soldiers. Hadrian's Wall in Britain, soldiers. The infrastructure holding the empire together, military engineering. You didn't sign up to be a construction worker, but that's only half your job. Now let's address combat, the part everyone thinks about. Here's the reality: most soldiers never see major battles. You might spend years on frontier duty watching empty landscapes, dealing with minor skirmishes, and dying from disease rather than combat. But when battle does come, it's utterly terrifying in ways movies never show. You're standing in formation shoulder to shoulder with other men. You can smell their fear and sweat. You can't see much beyond the man in front of you. Then the enemy appears, maybe barbarian warriors screaming and charging. Your training kicks in. You lock shields with the men beside you, forming the testudo or turtle-patched formation. Shields overlap, creating a protective shell. Then you march forward as one unit. The impact when formations collide is bone-crushing. You're pushing with your shield, stabbing with your short sword called a gladius, not wild swinging like movies show, short, controlled thrusts to the stomach or throat. You're stepping over bodies, slipping in blood, trying not to break formation because breaking formation means death. The noise is deafening, men screaming, metal clashing, officers shouting orders. Your arm feels like it's going to fall off from holding that shield up. Your legs shake from adrenaline and exhaustion. This continues for hours potentially. There's no timeout, no breaks. You fight until someone runs or everyone's dead. If you survive battle, you're still not safe. Disease kills more soldiers than combat ever did. Dysentery, malaria, infected wounds, typhoid, these spread rapidly in military camps where thousands of men live in close quarters with questionable sanitation. Roman military medicine was surprisingly advanced for the time, with field hospitals and trained medics, but they couldn't cure everything. A simple infected cut could kill you slowly and painfully. And here's something dark that history often glosses over: the psychological trauma. Romans didn't have concepts like PTSD, but soldiers absolutely suffered from it. You've killed people in close combat, watched friends die horribly, participated in massacres of enemy populations. You carry those memories for 25 years with no therapy or support systems. Many soldiers turned to alcohol. Some became brutal and violent. Others just became hollow shells going through the motions. So, could you actually survive as a Roman soldier? Honestly, probably not. Most modern people lack the physical conditioning for constant marching and manual labor. We lack the mental toughness for endless discipline and harsh punishment. We lack the stomach for close quarters, brutal combat. We lack the acceptance of discomfort that Romans considered normal. Being a Roman legionary meant sacrificing 25 years to unrelenting hardship, danger, and discipline. But those who survived became part of history's most effective military machine that conquered and held an empire spanning 3 continents. That legacy came at an extreme price paid in blood, sweat, and suffering by individual soldiers whose names we'll never know. What do you think? Could you handle it? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more historical reality checks.